have discussed about principal and advantages and disadvantages about that. Today we shall discuss with the problems. A three-phase line has conductor 2 cm in diameter, spaced equilateral in that is equilateral 1 meter apart. If the dielectric strength of A is 30 kilovolt, that is per centimeter, find the disruptive critical voltage for the line. Take air density factor delta is equal to 0.952 and irregularity factor, that is m0 is equal to 0.9. So R is equal to, they have given here diameter 2 cm. R is equal to 2 divided by 2, 1 centimeter you will get. D is equal to, they have already given 1 meter apart, that is 100 centimeter. Okay. What about G naught? G naught they have given 30 kilovolt per centimeter. That is, if they have given, we need to convert G naught in terms of RMS value. Just multiply into square root of 2. You will get 21.21 kV. That is in RMS. Okay. So VC is equal to, that is, they have asked to find out the disruptive critical voltage for the line. So VC is equal to, there is a formula M0 G naught delta R ln D by R. Okay. So we know the value M0 G naught delta and R ln D by R. Substitute the values. Ln D by D value is 100 and R value is 1. So substitute, after calculating this value, you will get 83.64 kilovolt per phase. This is a VC critical disruptive voltage. And next, line voltage in RMS means multiply square root of 3 line voltage into 83.64, you will get 144.8 kilo voltage. Next problem. Given 132, that is a 132 kV line with an 1.956 centimeter diameter. Conductor is built so that corona takes place if the line voltage exceeds 210 kV. What they are saying is, a line voltage, that is 132 kV line with 1.956 diameter conductor. Okay, conductor diameter is 1.956. It is built such that corona takes place if the line voltage exceeds 210 kV. If the value of potential gradient at which ionization occurs can be taken as 30 kilovolt per centimeter, and find the spacing between the conductors. Okay, we need to find out the D value. As assuming that the line is 3 phase, R is equal to how much they have given, the diameter value they have given, divided by 2, you will get 0.978 centimeter. G naught is equal to 30 divided by square root of 2, you will get 21.2 kV per centimeter. VC is equal to 210 per square root of 3. To convert in RMS, I have said multiply, not it is divided by. Okay, sorry. G naught is equal to 30 divided by square root of 2. You will get 21.2 kV. That is, we have converted in RMS. VC is equal to 210 divided by square root of 3. You will get 121.25 kilo voltage. Disruptive voltage formula, that is VC is equal to M0 G naught delta R log D by R kilo voltage. We know the M0 value and G naught value, delta R value and log E. We don't know the value of D here. Okay, keep as it is ln D by R. Okay, keep as it is ln D by R. So what about the VC value? 121.25. Okay, VC value is 121.25. And M0 G naught, if you multiply delta R, then what you will get? 20.733. Next, ln D by R. Okay, because we don't know the value of D, we need to find out. ln d by r is equal to 121.25 divided by 20.733. You'll get 5.848. Ln d by r is equal to 5.848. That can be written as next step is d by r is equal to e to the power of. If we if we take out to the right side, then it will become e to the power of, okay, e to the power of 5.848. That value is 346.59. Now we know the value of r, right? So conductor spacing d is equal to 346.59 into r. R value is how much we got here? 0.978 centimeters. So if you multiply 346.59 into 0. That is R value, you will get 338 centimeter. This is the conductor spacing D value. Okay. Next problem, a three-phase 220 kV 50 Hz transmission line consists of 1.5 centimeter radius conductor spaced 2 meters apart. That means D value is 2 and the radius they have given 1.5 centimeter radius. Okay. In equilateral triangle formation, if the temperature is 40 degrees Celsius and atmospheric pressure is 76 centimeter, then calculate the corona loss per kilometer of the line taken. That is, take m naught is equal to 0.85. What about P value? P is equal to, there is a formula for that, corona loss per that is formula P is equal to 242.2 divided by 8 F plus 25 square root of R divided by D V minus Vc whole square into 10 to the power of minus 5 kilowatt per kilometer per phase. Delta value is equal to 3.92 B divided by 273 plus T. If you substitute the value of B, that is a 76 pressure, they have given 76, and T value is, they have given temperature is 40. So substitute, you will get the value, delta value 0.952. What about G naught? G naught is equal to 21.2 kilovolt per centimeter, that is RMS value. Okay. Next, Vc is equal to m naught G naught delta R log D by R into kV, or in terms of kV. That is a 0.85 value, m naught value, and 21.2 here G naught value, and delta value is 0.952, and here R value is 1.5 log D by R. Okay. So you'll get 125.9 kilo voltage. Voltage per phase means V is equal to 200 divided by square root of V is equal to, you'll get 127 kilo voltage. Why we need this means, because here V minus Vc, okay, V minus Vc, we don't know the values, okay, we need to find out V and Vc value. So P is equal to 242. This is standard. Okay. F is nothing but frequency 50 Hz plus 25 square root of what? Square root of R by D. R value is 1.5. D value is 200. 200 why they have written means, it is they have written in terms of centimeters. It is at 2 meters. They have written in centimeters. So that's why they have written in 200. Okay, so you'll get 200. V minus Vc into 10 to the whole square into 10 to the power of minus 5. If you calculate, you'll get 0.01999 kilovolt per kilometer per phase. What about total corona loss per kilometer per for 3 phase? Just multiply 3 into, okay, 3 into what we got the value of P. So 3 into 0.0199 kilowatt is equal to 0.05998 kilowatt. This is the total corona loss per kilometer for 3 phase. Next problem is, a certain 3 phase equilateral transmission line has a total corona loss of 53 kilowatt at 106 kV and a loss of 98 kilowatt at 110.9 kV. What is the disruptive critical voltage? What is the corona loss at 113 kV? If that is the case, if total corona loss is 53 kilowatt at 106 kV and 98 kilowatt at 110.9 kV, and what about the corona loss that is at 113 kV? Okay, if we know the value of at 106, 110, and what is the value of corona loss at 113 kV, we need to find out. P is equal to 3 into 242.2 divided by delta F plus 25 square root of R divided by D, V minus Vc whole square into 10 to the power of minus 5. So, as F, delta, R and D are the same for the two cases. So, P proportional to V minus Vc whole square. P is equal to what? 53 kilowatt. And V is equal to 106 divided by square root of 3 if you do 61.2 kV. And next case is P is equal to 98 kilowatt and V is equal to 110.9 divided by square root of 3, 64 kV. And what about the third case? Here we can write this as 53 alpha 53 proportional to 61.2 minus Vc whole square, 98 proportional to 64 minus Vc whole square. Okay, dividing equation 2 and 1, we get 98 divided by 53 is equal to 64 minus Vc whole square divided by 61.2 minus Vc whole square. So from this we get that Vc value is 54 kilo voltage. So let W kilowatt be the power loss at 113 kV. We don't know how much power loss has been occurred at 113 kV. Okay, they have given for 110 and other value, but they have not given. We need to find out the power loss occurred at 113 kV. So we should consider that as W. W is proportional to 113 divided by square root of 3 minus Vc, that is what? V minus Vc. Okay, V, they have, you can observe this one 64 is, we got that by dividing, okay, by dividing square root of 3. Okay, that is what they have written here. So omega and W is proportional to 65.2 minus 54 whole square. What you will get? 65.2 minus 54 whole square divided by 61.2 minus 54 whole square. They have considered two cases. Okay, they have considered the for this one also. Okay, so omega is equal to, you will get 1, that is 11.2 divided by 7.2 whole square into 53. That is what W is equal to 128 kilowatt. Because we at 108, first case they have considered, okay, at 106 kilovoltage 53 kilowatt loss is there. First case and final case which we don't know, they have considered. Okay, first case is 53 kilowatt volt loss, 53 kilowatt loss occurred at 106 kV. Okay, and third one we don't know, that is at 113 kV. First case and third case if you consider, we can find out the W value. We got that 128 kilo voltage, sorry, kilowatt. Okay, ask explain disruptive critical voltage, visual critical voltage, corona power loss, and explain the corona formation in terms of Vc, Vd, and write a note on factors affecting the corona and methods to reduce it, and next state the advantages and disadvantages of corona. Next unit in fourth model, underground cables. The transmission, we have underground cables. Introduction. The transmission and distribution of an electrical power can be with the help of over transmission lines or underground cables. We might have seen, we have discussed in first module about transmission, generation, transmission, distribution. Transmission and distribution, it may be done on underground cables or over transmission line, over lines, right? It has been mentioned that in that is in populated areas like towns and cities, the use of overhead lines is not practicable. It is not possible. They will go with the underground cables. In such cases, electrical energy is transmitted and distributed with the help of underground cables. You might have seen in the industries also, they choose the underground cables due to the height of that is it may be due to the height of power plants or any machines. Due to that, they go with the underground cables. Okay, in such cases, electrical energy is transmitted and distributed with the help of underground cables, and in its basic form, an underground cable is a conductor provided with proper insulation. As the voltage level increases, the cost of the insulation also increases rapidly, and thus the use of underground cable is restricted to low and medium voltage distribution. What we are seeing here nowadays is, in many countries they go with the underground cables, but when you compare with the distribution and transmission side, a transmission for long transmission, we cannot go with the underground cables because it will be more costly and it is also complicated for okay. So for distribution side, they will go with the overhead lines only. Okay, for medium and low voltage levels, they go with the overhead lines because it will be too costly for that. Okay, so only for some cases they go with the underground cables. What are the requirements of a cable? How the cable should be if it is underground cable, and what are the requirements for the cable? The size of the conductor used must be such that it should carry the specified load without overheating. If what they are saying is, if it should carry the load, for example, if it is a 10 kilo voltage, if any changes in voltage level, it should carry, it should not get overheated. And if any, due to the temperature or due to the weather conditions, it should not get overheating and it should not get the voltage drop level. Okay, it's keeping the voltage drop well within the permissible limits. And next, at the voltage level for which cables are designed, the insulation thickness must be proper. If we are using 11 kV voltage, for that how much insulation we required? Okay, the proper of insulation should be good for the underground cables, because we are laying underground. Okay, so some due to the chemical reactions it may get affected, so it should be a more layers, it should have a more layers in, and the thickness of the insulation should be more. The insulation thickness must be proper so as to provide a high degree of safety and the reliability. The cable must be surrounded by a number of layers. I have already said about insulation, right? They go with the number of layers for protection. Number of layers insulation is added for underground cables for to give a proper mechanical strength and protection. The cables which can withstand the rough use at the time of laying. That means while undergrounding the cables, while digging mud and while laying the cables, it should be rough use. It should not get damaged while transportation or while laying of the cables. Okay. Material used in the manufacturing of cables must be such that there is a complete chemical and physical stability. What they are using for the underground cables, the chemical and physical qualities, stability should be good. Next is a comparison between underground cables and overhead lines. underground cables. You might have observed that in if underground cables means interruption will be, disconnection will be less in that case, because due to storms, lightning and other weather conditions, in this case underground cables will not occur disconnection. In overhead lines there will be many problems, right? Due to weather conditions, storms and lightning, they will interrupt, they will disconnect. You might have observed due to rainy conditions, or it may be if it is more wind, then they will do the power cut. Okay, it may get some damage to the people, it may get affect to the people. So why to take risk means, why to take risk, they will do the power cut. Okay, so this power cut will happens in overhead lines more. In underground cables it will be less. The cost of the cable is extremely high, because in underground cables the insulation thickness will increase, and here the size of the diameter also increase. So for transportation and for insulation the cost will be become high. But in overhead lines, because hair acts as an insulating media, so the diameter of the conductor will be reduced. So transportation and laying, that is the construction of conductors to the poles, it will be less expensive. It requires a less maintenance. Here in overhead lines we have came to know about, right? It requires a more maintenance, because due to the accidents, or in wind seasons, in rainy seasons, more in wind seasons, and due to accidents only it will happen. Okay, maintenance will be more in overhead lines. The cables are insulated and hence very safe. Here more layers are insulation is there, so it is very safe. The conductors are bare, not insulated, which is unsafe in overhead lines. The size of the cables is high, the size of the conductor is less. The insulation cost is very high in underground cable. No insulation cost, I have already said, here acts as an insulation. Long distance transmission is not possible, because as laying of cables is costly and difficult and complicated. Long distance transmission is possible in overhead lines. The beauty of cities and towns gets maintained. By underground cables, the cities and towns will look beautiful. Okay, but in overhead lines it will be clumsy, and it will look always it will be wires only we can see in cities if we go with the one overhead lines. Okay, the beauty of cities and towns gets affected. Here some trees we should cut due to overhead lines, so that will happen in the overhead lines. The beauty of city also, it will not good in a clean, or it will not look beautiful in overhead lines. The voltage drop is less, and here the voltage drop is more. The possibility of accidents is less in underground cables. Here the possibility of accidents is more in overhead lines. Okay, in overhead lines, one advantage is overhead lines, we can identify the fault, right? Some people will inform us, we will come to know where fault is occurred. But in underground cables, it is difficult to find out the fault. In next class, we shall discuss with the general construction of cable.